Dan,
Yes.
what did you think of Magic Round?
Thought it was very good. So good that I propose that next year we call Magic Round Very Good Round.
I'll be on a very good round. Magic. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe where you can. Dan, it's there. Let's just talk it. Magic Round.
Magic Round.
Right.
Lived up to the term.
It did. I had my reservations going into this game about how the Suncorp turf would be able to hold up for 8 games.
Plus the Women's Origin.
Yeah, plus the Women's Origin. Yeah, so 9 games. And what a cracker of a game that was as well. Mate, yeah, it was fine.
It was great. In that last game, you're like, well, nothing's really happened yet.
Yeah.
Here we go. Clean bill.
Yeah, like,
Glorious.
no, there were injuries across the weekend, but none that you ever turned around and went, oh, geez, he stepped in a 3-foot pothole.
Yeah, and I mean, early on, the field looked okay. Like, it didn't look great.
It was choppy.
During the NRLW Origin, you're like, ooh, 8.5 games later, no worries.
Yeah.
They could run another 15 on there. Nah, big ups to the ground staff and everyone involved. Evidently, they were working overnight each night to maintain, which is fantastic efforts. But mate, what a weekend.
Mate, what a weekend. Some fantastic games of rugby. I think we got some absolute classic games.
Well, we only got one bad one. One blowout.
Yeah, one blowout.
Well, one blowout and one.
Yeah, I thought the Warriors-Panthers game was sensational.
Emotion.
Sharks-Roosters lived up to
not often that it does.
everything that you wanted there. Titans-Newcastle, like 24-10 at half-time, you're sitting there thinking this is going to be a blowout. Newcastle come back. David Armstrong, probably the performance of the weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty great. There were some good ones too. Look, even the Dolphins-Tigers game, which look could have been a bit of a snoozer, wasn't too bad.
The opening game between the Raiders and the Dogs was insane.
I am willing to go out on a limb here.
Yeah,
Talking
best Magic Round.
Controversy. Best Magic Round. But if you put a few of those games in front of smaller crowds elsewhere, they lack the magic.
Yeah, there doesn't. And you know what? It was like so good watching yesterday the Panthers-Warriors game. The whole stadium was just going for the Warriors.
Yeah, they were.
And then you had a look when the Panthers scored a try. There was like thousands of fans in there just with the hump, you know?
It
was unreal.
Now, Dylan Edwards is arguably one of the most popular players in the NRL, and he had 38,000 or 40,000 booing him to miss that game through no fault of his own.
No.
He was just wearing the wrong jersey on the wrong day.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because you can guarantee that if it was Tapua, what's the young kid's name?
Tuapiki.
Yeah, Tuapiki. If it was him taking that shot of goal, it would have been silent.
Yeah, silent. It would have been 300 Pender fans. You be quiet, you be quiet.
Absolutely
it was utterly
unreal.
fantastic.
But I mean, like, we'll talk about it later, but the Sharks-Roosters game, that was the headline act.
It was, and it lived up to the...
It absolutely lived up to it. Congratulations to every team that went there, whether you won or lost. Congratulations to the Dragons.
For not ruining the weekend.
For not ruining the weekend. Now, interestingly enough, them and the Bulldogs are the only teams that have not won at Magic Round ever. Do you make them play next year?
Next year, 6 p.m. Friday night, someone's got to win cup, yes. Would you... Okay.
There's a few undefeated teams.
Controversially, if I'm the Sharks, I would say, look...
I want the bye.
We'll take the bye next year because I don't want to spend the money to go up there and get my heart broken again. Yeah. So if you could do us a favour, please, Sharkies.
Yeah, I would absolutely take the bye, but I think Dogs and Dragons next year...
have to play.
Someone has to get a win
yes.
in that there. So absolutely... Well done to everyone. Congratulations to everyone involved. The NRL has put on a spectacle. Brisbane lived up to everything. It was unreal. Cam Munster.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate. Now, he came into the game with the hip injury. No one knows yet whether it's his hip or his groin, but he was spasming on the ground. All but ruled out for Origin 1. I think it would take an absolute miracle to get in there.
It was confirmed it was at least a strain, which I think someone said 2 weeks, but that to me says Origin's done.
Yeah, Origin 1
is probably the least of his concerns, to be totally honest. The way it happened, you see him start limping, and everyone's known all season that Munster's carrying an injury.
He even said, I'm playing at 75-80%.
And last week against Cronulla, he was pretty good. He was a little bit quiet, but he was pretty good. And then today he started well, and I had him captain in my super coach. I was like, okay, we're in for a big day. And he started limping, and he grabbed at it, and you think, oh, is that just the same injury, or is he done bad? Then he makes a tackle, is on his knees, and screams in agony and grabs at his groin. No one's within a metre of him. There's no twist. There's nothing to do with the ground. Whatever it was, just went. Awful scenes.
I had a few Parramatta fans on my timeline turn around saying, well, why has the game stopped? Because that's where Parramatta was going to go. He was 3 metres out from the line.
When a bloke's laying there in agony screaming, you stop the game.
If it's 30 metres down the field, you don't worry about it. But
he was in the line.
They're 10 metres out. He was 5 metres out. You had to stop that.
It's not good.
The replacements, some names that have been thrown up. Obviously, you've got Tom Dearden, who's been there and done that.
Yep.
You've got Ezra Mam, who is he the form 5'8" of the competition?
Well, he's right up there, and he had a pretty good grand final.
Yeah, he had a pretty good magic round as well.
He did.
They were also throwing up Sam Walker.
Yeah, I'd actually forgotten about him. I thought it was a two-man race, and obviously Ben Hunt's there if you just want to...
No, Ben Hunt's on the bench.
Yeah, or start with Harry Grant on 9. Yeah, that you're not going to mess with that, but if they want to put him in 6, whatever. I wrote an article on Zero Attack a couple of weeks ago that said Tom Dearden's leading because he can replace either. I said if Cherry Evans goes, it has to be Dearden. I'm going to backtrack and say that I would be picking Ezra Mam if I'm Billy Slater.
If Cherry Evans went down, I would not be picking Tom Dearden. I'd be picking Sam Walker because you need a good kicking game. For the 6, it's Ezra Mam.
I think so.
I think it has to be Ezra
Look, as a
Mam.
New South Wales fan, it doesn't matter what form, what physical state, what level of consciousness Cam Munster's in, he's going to come in, he's going to tear you up as soon as he puts that maroon jersey on. So it's a bit of a shame. But Ezra Mam or Tom Dearden or Sam Walker don't make me think, oh, goody either. So.
Yeah, no, for mine, I think it's going to be Ezra Mam. He's in great form at the moment, and the Cowboys have won one of their last 6 games or something at the moment. Dearden hasn't really been going pick me in that situation there.
Sam Walker, good shout though.
Sam Walker is a pretty good shout. I think he's like 2 years away from being the Queensland number 7. I think
100% agree.
Now we're talking about the Queensland halves. You've also got the New South Wales halves.
Yep.
No Cleary.
Nope.
Brad Arthur's saying that Moses won't be right next week, which means he won't be right for Origin.
Yeah, Moses is going for mine.
Yeah.
I think half the New South Wales halves are up for discussion. I think one is locked in.
Right. I was listening to Triple M. I don't know why I do it to myself. I was listening to Triple M. Jimmy Hooper, before the 2 o'clock game, was sitting there saying that all Jerome Luai had to do was get through this game, and he will be the New South Wales number 7, with Matt Burton at number 6.
Go Queensland. Look, I'm happy. Let's lock that right in.
Yep.
Now, please, because Nico Hines is undisputedly the best number 7. He's leading the Dally M's. He's leading the team that's running first.
He's in sensational
He man the
form.
match the other night against the Roosters, who were $1.30 favourites or something to beat us.
Bright lights at Suncorp.
Yeah, where he's notorious, he's never played well before, turned it on in a big way. Meanwhile, you've got Jerome Luai, who has failed numerous times for the Blues, has shown that he doesn't really care. You got to go to work tomorrow. Those Instagram posts do not help. Matt Burton, I would lock in at 6. I'll be putting Hines at 7, despite my obvious reasons for leaving him out. I want him playing for the Sharks. If they go with Luai and Burton, Queensland will win, and they will win 3-0.
Yeah, look, personally and selfishly, I don't want Nico Hines to go in there because they lose game 1 and the whole way to it. It doesn't matter how well he plays. It's like the
finals.
2022 final against the Cowboys, where he was undisputably the best player on the game, but Connor Tracy got sin-binned and Cronulla lose the game.
Yeah, and it becomes Nico's fault.
It becomes Nico's fault because he couldn't ice it. So
Good shout. Great shout, in fact. If you're watching Madge, and we know you are, don't pick our boy.
Yeah, don't pick
Even though everyone with any sense of footballing knowledge would pick Nico Hines.
there is also a New South Wales number 7 Smokey that I have thrown up. Can I interest you in Chad Townsend?
No.
Okay, very good. I want to get away from the Origin talk now. There's something that's crept back into the game, and I am going to offer. This is one of my first solutions that I'm going to offer to you tonight.
Well, we come here with problems. You come here with solutions.
So milking, players laying down.
Oh my God.
Right. I have long been really annoyed at these enormous hulk of men
Monsters.
getting a slight tap on the jaw and laying down and holding their jaw and whatever. Now, I understand a hip drop.
Yep.
Because sometimes the referee will not see that. The referee's got to police the ruck, he's got to police the 10 metres, he's got to look around for everything else, people shitting out of the line, whatever, right? And he's got 8 people talking in his ear, and he's got 2 useless touch judges. I can understand that they, have some players, because they can't get up, their legs sore, right? I'm going to offer up 2 options for you, and I want you to tell me this. If a player claims that they got hit in the head and they've stayed down to try and milk a penalty, and the bunker says, no, that's not a penalty, it's an automatic HIA.
Yes.
Yep, you have to go. You're off the field 15 minutes.
If you're hurt enough
If you're hurt enough to stay down, get the trainer out there, get the referee to stop the game, but it's not a penalty.
No. It's got to be like the round ball game where if you stay down long enough to require attention, you've got to come off.
The other thing as well, I know sometimes hip drops, they're not always hip drops. Sometimes there's other ones where, you know, your legs get caught up or whatever and the trainer comes out. You don't know if you're milking or not. There's a red chair on the sideline. 60 seconds, you've got to go and sit down.
Yeah. They're look, devil's advocate, because that's what I have to do here. Crushers are completely different for mine.
Crusher is completely different.
And secondly, there are times where players are hurt and not milking penalties.
Yes.
This past weekend, though, 4 or 5 times, to the point where 4
or 5 times a game.
Yeah, I tweeted, I'm getting sick of them staying out for 8 months trying to get penalties, because they know that the bunker has to have a look. If there's an incident and the referee stops play, or even doesn't stop play, but they milk long enough, the bunker's going to have a look, and more often than not, there's a penalty. If 5 seconds go, the referee has to blow time off, because we wasted minutes this week. There was, I can't remember which game it was, a bloke stayed 20 seconds down.
I tell you what I loved, that was the Tigers-Dolphins game, and it was a Tigers player down, and Chris Butler would not stop the clock.
Was that the one where
you were behind? He just said, he goes, you're behind. He yelled at the player on the ground, you're behind.
That works for me. But if a player is hurt enough to stay down for a minute, yeah, they should come off for a minute. The only thing is that if they're really hurt, then they're a minute minus a player when they shouldn't be.
Oh, look, if a player's done his ACL or snapped his Achilles and he's got to get carted off the field, then fair play, right?
There's got to be some.
You can
space,
tell, like, if someone's done their calf or their hamstring and they get up on their own accord and go, no, I'm done, I'm out. But if they get up and want to play the ball, brother, there's a red chair over there. I don't care if there's 8 players sitting on that chair. You're all going to sit there for a minute.
It will be fun. Something's got to be done, because milking is creeping back in, and I hate it.
Right, the 20 seconds. I'm going to give you the 20 second.
Never goes 20 seconds.
It never goes 20 seconds, but we'll just pretend for this one. The Brian Kelly try, no try. What do you got?
No try.
Oh, it was a try.
Oh, so did I on first view.
They awarded the Kaoliro try for the exact same put down.
Yeah, but that was really funny.
Yeah, that was really funny. Under these new interpretations that we have, the ball was on the line, there was an arm near it, it's a try for me.
I thought it was a try in first, and then they looked at it, and who I was watching with said it's no try. I was like, I really want to argue with you, some gunner, but in the back of my head I thought, I'd be spewing. But if they're giving it, I'm not going to argue, because there are so many horrible interpretations of it.
Yeah. Look, either way, it's funny that the Titans lost, but I thought that was a try. Now, Dean.
Yes, Terry.
Here's solution number 2 for you. And it's going to be long-winded. So
please,
the floor is long.
The less I have to do, the better.
We're hearing that the NRL wants Papua New Guinea, and it feels very political. Now, I've been sitting down on this thinking, Papua New Guinea is not going to work. It'll be in 2026 and it'll be out by 2030. It's not going to work. So I've looked around other sports around the world and what they do to try and bring in external players from other countries. You know, the NBA does it. They've got the G League Global. They've got the Young Stars, all these kinds of things. And then it got me thinking about the NBL and what they're doing to attract players who maybe can't make it into college or need to get paid early or some other way that you can do it, right? And what they have is the Next Stars program. And that is one player under the age of 22 years old that does not count on your salary cap, but they can't be paid like a marquee player.
Gotcha.
So I was then thinking that, you know, everyone's turned around saying, we need a draft. I don't think a draft works, because someone like Sam Stonestreet would be taken away from the Sharks when all that kid has done is grown up and wanted to play for the Sharks. He's made his debut for the Sharks. He scored his first try. A draft doesn't work in this country, and Terry Hill's already sued the ARL to make sure that there are no drafts. So I'm proposing 2 types of Next Star programs to come into the NRL. The first one is a local talent under the age of 22 years old. He's yours. He's in the system. You can play him anytime, or you don't play him in, because, you know, development players can't play before certain games or whatever. But he's yours. He's in your system, and the NRL pays it. And the next
outside the cap.
Outside the cap.
Yep.
And the next one is like a South Pacifica Next Stars player.
Gotcha. So someone based,
Yep.
born in. Yep.
Go and find yourself someone from Papua New Guinea. Go and find the next big kid in Samoa, Tonga, the Cook Islands, and they also come into your program. You can play them at any time.
Outside the cap.
Outside the cap. The NRL has it so that way you get your 30 players, you get your 6 development players, and you get your homegrown Next Star and you get your Pacifica Next Star. Obviously, it couldn't be called the Next Stars because the NBL would sue the crap out of you.
It's going to need some out of the box thinking. You know, it's already come out that the NRL are considering salary cap changes or
Danger
edits.
pay. The
Yeah.
minute you use the word danger pay.
As soon as they mentioned that, fans rightly said, well, what about the danger of having to go there? So it opens up a whole thing that the NRL are desperate not to touch. So that was dumb. Surprise, shocking. I like it. I like both. I think they have to do something. I just think the ultimate fact is if you go to Cherry Evans and say, want to go play for Papua New Guinea, he's going to say no. You go to Cade Dykes and say, oh, you want a first grade spot? He goes, yeah. And they're going to say, in New Guinea, he's going to say no. To get players there, they're going to have to give them what they did with GWS years ago. They gave them salary cap compensation. They gave them a heap of draft picks. It took them years and years and years. The Gold Coast Suns in that other game still aren't very competitive, or at least ongoing. This is going to be that.
But there's no draft, and you won't be able to get a draft. And the other thing as well is, I'll give you a name because he's off contract. And just imagine that the PNG were coming in next year. Jack DeBellin plays for PNG. Yeah, he represents PNG. But if you said to him, the only NRL team that is going to sign you is PNG, he'd be in Super League before you know it.
England. Yeah. He's the kind of player that they're going to have to attract. Yeah. They don't have a Wayne Bennett and they don't have a Gold Coast, a Redcliffe-based team so close to Rugby League Haven. I like it. Yeah. It's not going to work. Terry.
Talk to me, Dan.
Time to talk some black, white and blue. Another week, another win.
Mate, it's almost getting boring.
Almost.
This is our longest...
23 or 24 more wins. I might start getting bored.
This is our longest winning streak since 2016.
Yep. Boy, do they love bringing that up. I wish we would put that on the back burner just for a little bit. But, yes, it is true.
It's fun. Look, we've got the, what are we now? The second best defensive team in the competition, second best attacking team.
By far the best points.
We have, the best points differential over the Roosters.
What are we, 10-1?
9 and 1? 10 and 1?
9 and 1, 10.
9 and 1.
9 and 1, 10 and 1, whatever it is.
With a bye.
That's it. Now, I've seen some people come out.
We're 4 wins away from securing finals.
People have come out and said, oh, you're peaking too early. Shut up.
Yeah.
You win football games. You can have a slump like we did in 2016 and bounce back now. Yeah. They've put us in a position where we can have a bad few weeks.
But this is the thing. You don't beat the Storm and the Roosters. Oh, Cronulla aren't legitimate. You beat the Storm and the Roosters, you're peaking too early.
You just can't win. And you know what? I'll take.
But we can win. All we do is win.
I'll take all the crap in the world to sit first on the table. Who cares?
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's glorious.
You get 1 or 2 slip-ups, you're still in the top 4.
People go, oh, the Sharks are getting the most crap of all time. Yeah, because you don't give bad teams grief like this. Yeah. You think anyone cares about South right now?
Yeah. All I've heard is, you haven't beaten the top teams. We are the top team.
It's hard to beat the top team.
And we beat ourselves against West.
Yeah, so... Look, when a couple of years ago, we said we need to build on the Penrith system. And we've done that. Yeah. Our backs run, your local juniors, halves, right down to losing to the Tigers.
Yeah. It's absolutely unreal. I want to give a massive wrap in this game again to the forwards. You and I have sat on this couch for many, many years now. We've sat in the glorious Fins Up studio and ripped the forwards apart. Yep. And they've absolutely stood up this year.
They've taken it personally.
You're coming up against a red-hot Roosters forward pack who are big, just as big as us. The bench battle was absolutely enormous. I think where we had the advantage is they brought on Brandon Smith and lost some size and some speed.
They looked not so good when he came on.
But, and we did this without Braden Hamlin-Uele and Toby Rudolph. Yeah. We did it with Tukes and Royce Hunt on the bench as well, and they didn't let anyone down.
No,
Tukes was enormous.
Huge had his way with people. He came out, dominated, bruised them, and then sat down, put his feet up.
At the beginning of the year, I said Jack Williams was the best forward coming off the bench in the NRL, and he's now the second best.
He's the second best in Cronulla.
He's the second best. In the NRL, he's the second best at Cronulla because Ceci Vitalakai, he's killing people.
Oh, I'll tell you what. They're talking about Cam McInnes playing for Origin. They need to pick Talakai.
Yeah, but Tom Hazelton, his name should be at least like they're talking about Junior Borlaug and Regan Campbell-Gillard. Why?
Nah.
You've got this absolute unit sitting there as well.
That's dumb.
I thought Oregon Kafusi again was absolutely sensational.
In a big game too, 100th.
Didn't get the try. Tommy got it.
Yeah, but that's okay. Tom's going to score every week, so you just got to go with it.
T. Wilton, another great show. That line that he ran for the
Beautiful try.
for the try.
What about Angus Crichton, the form second rower of the competition, handled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nicola.
Now, I came away from that game. I'm glad you mentioned his name. I came away from that game from Britton Nickera just going, Jesus, man, he really didn't do much. He had 6 runs, 50 metres, right? And I thought, you're getting to that pre-contract Britton Nickera where he's just not doing enough. The amount of defensive work that guy got through in this game, like he was making tackles in the middle of the field, running back to his edge and making tackles, chasing out from marker. I thought he was. I've watched the game like twice today.
Good.
I thought he was sensational.
Going home to watch it.
Yeah. I thought he was absolutely class.
The two men, they were all tremendous. There were a couple of little moments there. In the first half, it looked like the only thing that kept the Roosters in it was the Sharks. Let's be honest.
Yeah, penalty try.
Kicking
error.
out on the full try. Yeah, Nico Hines cost us 2 tries in that first half and came out and just lit it up in the second.
The Sione Katoa pass, like I think both take blame. Because there's 20 seconds to go, Sione don't pass it. We'll catch the gosh. Like you catch some of the toughest bombs, you clean up some of the most insane grubbers, and you drop a sitter. Anyway, let's.
No negative here, Terry.
Yeah, one of the things that I think has been really great about us the last 2 weeks at least, and to a degree against Canberra as well, we played a good side. We fell behind, and the Sharks of old, like the Tigers game, the minute they go behind, it just gets too hard for them. And they want to fold, but that try right on half time, the Roosters could have come out and scored 3 more, and everyone would just be going, "Oh, was that try at half time?"
Yep.
They couldn't overcome the adversity.
Sharkies, yep.
Last week against Melbourne, we went behind twice.
With no Nico Hines. Yep.
With no Nico Hines, and then Melbourne levelled the game, and you thought, are they going to go on with it?
They'll probably do
but
it.
we managed to kick on. In the second half, when Cronulla stopped giving away penalties, even though we did give away a lot of penalties, when they stopped you stopped making stupid errors, and they stopped Cronullifying themselves, we won the second half 20 points to 6.
Yeah, Cronulla got in their own way in a big way against a very, very good side who were heavy, unbackable favourites. All I heard all week was you frauds this, you frauds that.
$1.45 at kickoff.
Come out and beat them. Now, I was fearful of Sam Walker. We kept relatively quiet. I thought he played. First half was great. Suaalii came out like a man on fire. Then once a certain winger trusted a certain centre in defence, that stopped. I was worried about Dom Young. Okay, he scored a nice try.
Scored 2 nice tries.
2 nice tries. It was very quiet in that he didn't make his 400 metres. I think they handled him pretty well.
A few years ago, I always thought to myself, like, why... Chad Townsend would bomb to Valentine Holmes, would score a try, and then would never go back there. The Roosters did that to Daniel Tupou, who is 6'6", up against a 5'10" winger, and they did it once on the try line.
And I was extremely worried because Katoa did everything right.
Yeah.
He just was
tried to bat the
short.
ball. Yeah, it's like me jumping over the top of you.
Yeah, it's just not fair. And I thought, and that's what I'm like, that's where you need Stone Street to be available so you can bring him in against games like this because that's an obvious weakness. Not of Katoa. It's just he can't be as tall as the other bloke.
And like Sione Katoa was sensational.
He's very good. He just can't be 6'4".
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
If he was 6'4", it'd be unreal.
He would be the best winger, except Ronaldo.
Now, let's talk our origin chances here, because you and I are both thinking that Nico Hines should be picked.
He should be picked.
Will he be picked? We don't know.
Please no.
I am adamant that one of Tom Hazelton or Sif Talakai should be on the bench. Won't be, but should be.
Talakai should be the first bench player pick. There's one thing New South Wales don't have on their bench, and that's impact. Yeah. If they go for the Utakamanus and the Paulos, they're not impactful players. No. Which is why I've been on Twitter, sorry to go on a rant. You have to pick Crichton, you have to pick Olakuatu in the second rollers, right? And
you can't pick Liam Martin.
You go, you got to pick Liam Martin, he's solid. Solid doesn't win your origin games. Solid gets you bodied by David Fafita.
He had 58 metres.
Pick Olakuatu, who is a beast, right? Yeah. I wrote something the other day that said they're going to pick Jake Trbojevic and they're going to pick Payne Haas. They got to pick Paseka or they got to pick Terrell May. You need killers in origin. Sifa Talakai, I swear that guy hasn't eaten cooked meat in 6 months.
Yeah.
He's a savage. He's killing people. The other night they ran out their big forwards. We ran out a slightly smaller forward who went on and killed these big forwards and then laughed and then scored a try.
Scored a try with 5 of them around him.
Yeah, his leg drive. There are footprints.
Yeah.
You know how people search for big footprints?
Yeah.
We search for Sifatalakai.
Sifatalakai footprints.
Killed him.
There
pick
is
him.
the debate of all debates at the moment is Cam McInnes versus Connor Watson.
Pick Watson.
I genuinely believe, like a couple of weeks ago I laughed about it, but I actually think it should be Connor Watson.
I think I'll pick Connor Watson.
He's playing 9 at the moment, and he can play lock, and he's a lot faster.
He may actually start with Appy coming off the bench, is my thinking. So I think Reece Robson's a little bit down now.
Yeah.
But Cam earned that.
But it could be Blake Brayley as well.
Cam McInnes has earned
the right to play.
We've heard
at least
his
one
name.
Origin game.
We've heard his name bandied around, which is why I think he might be picked in an extended squad. I think Nico won't be picked for Origin 1 because a couple of weeks ago he said, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. That's going to count against him.
Jesse Ramian has watched every centre in the NRL go down.
Yep.
You got Tom Turbo, you got Bradman Best.
Latrell says he's not available.
Latrell doesn't want to play. You got Stephen Crichton.
Yep.
Has to be.
Well, Crichton's going to be there.
It's Ramian.
It's got... Look, I've heard all these names come out.
It's Jess.
And people have gone, you got to talk Latrell into it. You don't want to play? Don't pick him.
Yeah.
The only name that... Because Katoni Staggs, don't even get me started on that bloke. The only bloke who could pip him at this point is Isaac Tungo, who plays the Sharks this week. I think whoever plays better gets picked. I'm hoping we win by 40, but I'm hoping Tungo has a really good game and gets picked.
Scores penalty only try.
Yeah, 40-4 or something. But look, there's 4 blokes that could get picked. There's 2 that probably should get picked. Let's hope there's none, selfishly.
Yeah.
If you had to pick one, though, I think McInnes is the one.
Tom Hazelton.
Oh, obviously.
And just quietly, Andrew Abdo has come out and said that the 5:30 game between the Sharks and the Roosters was the most watched 5:30 game of all time.
Most watched Super Saturday game, I believe.
Most watched Super Saturday game of all time.
I specifically heard.
This was so many people tuning in to watch Cronulla drop the soap against the Roosters.
So sorry.
And it just backfired.
I thought we didn't rate.
We're so good. We're just so good. Top of the table, Dan. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
So for some top sport tips. Now, last week you and I picked exactly the same apart from the Sharks Roosters game, which means I've opened up a 5-point lead.
It's a shame I keep getting the Sharks game wrong.
Oh, man.
Darn shame.
Now, we don't have an updated scoreboard. I'll send that through tomorrow. We'll have updated monetaries as well, which Tristan from Top Sport has said that he will match
Thank
at
you
the
very
end
much,
of
mate.
the year. And
We're going to send everybody broke.
At the moment, you are looking like you have to buy me a nice lunch.
So be it, mate. Oh, gladly.
With a tasty soda water.
Gladly.
Now, I was really, really excited for another round of Rugby League, and now I am so excited that I'm going to be on holidays next week.
Oh, good.
But I don't avoid the Thursday night game because I'm still here for
Can
it.
you leave a day early?
Oh, I might try and go to sleep.
Oh, dearie do me. Now, I warned people on Twitter. I said, do not look. And everyone looked, and they all said, shouldn't have looked.
Yep.
Who is it, Terry?
Thursday night, the Dogs are playing the Dragons. Now, the Dragons, what can you say about them?
Well, they had a bye.
They had a bye.
A good thing.
They didn't ruin Magic Round.
They didn't. I think they won last week, didn't they, too?
Yeah, they won the week before.
Cool. Dogs are okay.
The Dogs are playing fine football. This is going to be drab.
Dragons are okay. Drab's another D word, so is dross. Disgusting.
Dookie. I'm really not looking forward to this game.
Dogs.
Okay, you're going to go the Dogs?
Yeah, why not?
Then I'll go the Dragons. We need to do something different.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We need to bring some excitement.
You go the Dogs, I'll go the Dragons. Let's not watch this game. Let's never talk about it again. It doesn't get any better.
It's going to make us popular. Yeah, this is... I was worried about Thursday, and you said, don't look at the Friday.
Friday night, 6 o'clock, up at Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. The North Queensland Cowboys, fresh off a win against South Sydney, are taking on the West Tigers. Let's just say that.
Jeez Louise. And there's another bad game to come.
I sent you a message during the Tigers-Dolphins game. I just said, how are the Tigers so bad for so long?
And we said...
Whatever. It's funny.
Long may it continue.
Like, it was really funny, and then it stopped being funny, and now it's funny again.
Yeah, it's a circle of rugby league.
Yeah.
Now, Terry, I'm going to bring a positive spin to this.
Please do.
It's all going to be over by 8 o'clock. And I think the Cowboys are going to win. And
I am not picking the Tigers. You made me do it every week last year. I got 3 games right. I'm not picking them.
Yeah, look, I can't even in joke pick them.
I'm picking the Cowboys.
Is there a good football game on?
Yeah, look, the Friday night 8 o'clock game at Four Pines at Manly.
Oh, okay. Before you say anything, can we have an over-under, Tristan, on how many times they mentioned the Battle of Brookvale?
Well, they mentioned it when Cam Munster got injured.
Oh,
they said he's not going to be there for the Battle of Brookvale.
Oh, I mean, Cam Munster was like 4 when that happened.
Yeah. There hasn't been a fight in the game since that fight.
We saw 2 blokes in bin for grabbing each other's collars this week. There ain't no Battle of Brookvale. Should be a good game, though.
Manly hosting Melbourne.
Yeah.
I mean, will it be a good game if there's no Hughes, no Munster, no Pappenhausen? I'm leaning to Manly.
Yeah, me too. You know what? You go Manly, I'll go Melbourne.
Right, cool.
It's going to be a fun week.
3 o'clock, Super Saturday. This is a good game to kick off Super Saturday. Down in the nation's capital, the Canberra Raiders, 2 wins in a row, up against the Sydney Roosters looking for some revenge after going up to Magic Round and getting pantsed by the Sharks.
This could be the both lost to the Sharks derby.
Yeah,
or the Tedesco Cup.
Yeah, Tedesco Cup or the Ricky Stewart Cup.
It could be. There's lots of things. Brad Clyde Cup.
Yeah, there's oh no, he went to the Dogs, not the Roosters.
Oh, forget that then.
Yeah, forget that.
Leave it in though.
Phil Graham.
Oh yeah,
Phil Graham Cup.
Yeah. Look,
there's Mullins.
Mullins. Yeah, there's a heap of them.
There's a whole heap.
I think this is going to save the weekend.
This will be a pretty good game. I'm expecting Canberra to give everything that they have, and the Roosters to just run home the final 20 minutes.
But they clap really good at the same time. Yeah. So there's that.
I am going to pick the Sydney Roosters in this game.
Yeah, me too. Not by much. Not by much.
Now, game of the round, 5:30. The high-flying Cronulla Sharks
up on the Saturday.
Taking on the Penrith Panthers. Now, the Sharks have won 7 in a row. The Panthers lost at Magic Round to the Warriors. Some saying controversial circumstances. Some will say in hilarious circumstances.
Yeah, well, you miss kicks from right in front.
A loss is a loss. Look, no Cleary. We've got to wait for the charge sheet on James Fisher-Harris to see what's happening there.
No centre.
Talamay won't be playing. For the Sharks, Brad Hamlin-Uele will be back. No Toby Rudolph. It remains to see if they're going to bring Trindle back into the team.
Probably expecting not to be this week, yeah.
Look,
you can't bring
if there was a game that you would, this is the one that I would be doing it because you just need a little bit more ball playing than what Dan Atkinson offers. Atkinson's a tremendous runner.
Yeah.
Now, for our tips here.
Penrith, baby.
You're picking Penrith.
Jinx.
I'll take the Sharks in what will be a cracking game.
Monster game.
7:30, we have the South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Parramatta Eels.
Talk about crashing back to earth.
Crashing back down to earth.
Neither team know how to win games.
Parramatta must be the most unfit team on the planet.
Yeah,
so many times they go into halftime either up 6 points, down 6 points, and just get flogged.
Yep.
I made a tweet which got Parramatta fans all in my mentions about if you need some points against Parramatta, just go and attack Will Penasini.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, just go. Let's score 5 tries down there. I wasn't wrong.
No. We very rarely are.
I don't know how to pick this game except for saying that South have to win at some point in the season. I'm going to pick South Sydney.
Well, I'll go Parramatta then because it's going to be a fun weekend. I actually would have taken South. I think they're far more interested in playing football, which is crazy.
I think they want to get themselves off the top of the competition. The problem for them at the moment is they're 1 win behind and about 100 points behind as well in the 4 innings.
I think they need to win 3 in a row to avoid Spoon, which is pretty hilarious. But
Parramatta are slowly dropping into the bottom 4 as well.
I don't think it happens this week. Now, I am hoping that they rush Mitch Moses back to avoid the Spoon battle because I don't think Moses is ready. He's pretty much said he's not ready, and I think that would be hilarious to see them blow up the season for a game against us.
Brad Arthur essentially in his press conference said Moses won't be back and he won't be playing Origin.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Parramatta.
Works for me. Sunday, 2 o'clock. We have another 4X derby game. The Brisbane Broncos taking on the Gold Coast Titans. The Titans were really unlucky in their game against Newcastle.
They were.
You talk about a team that doesn't know how to win. It's the Titans.
Unfortunately, because they lost about 5 or 6 games by 2 or 4 points, they could be in the 8.
Yeah.
If a few bounces of the ball went a different way.
And
but that said,
I remember looking at you the minute Tino went down and just said that was the Titans season done and dusted. They're fighting. They're unearthing good players. German Jolliffe is playing some serious football.
They are a far better team than South are. They're better than Parramatta. I think they're way better than the Tigers.
Yeah, they're probably better than the Dragons. They just didn't play it.
Yeah. And I don't think they win this week. Reece Walsh.
I don't think they'll win there. No.
Back at Suncorp Stadium. Is it Suncorp?
Yeah, it's at Suncorp.
Of course it's at Suncorp. I think he'll go ballistic.
Yeah, I think the Broncos we get sweating on Payne Haas as well.
Yeah,
sit him out. They're still going to win.
Yeah, pretty much.
And 4 o'clock, an interesting time slot. The Warriors and the Dolphins over in New Zealand. So they get 6 o'clock.
Yeah, on a Sunday night.
Night.
Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Prime time Warriors,
baby, yeah.
Primetime Warriors. We get to see more of the Dolphins as well.
Yeah, I'll rate that.
The Dolphins, look, they were good but unconvincing against the Tigers.
Yep.
The good thing about it is their defence held solid and it was just a couple of offloads that killed them. They got in their own way. I think they left about 5 tries out on the field. They could have scored 50.
They could have.
Very, very easily could have scored 50. Hammer back. They didn't miss a beat. Like, I know Trey Filler was good, but Hammer is just great.
Hammer's next level.
He's unbelievable. Going to play himself into an origin spot.
The Warriors, look, they played well, and I thought Tamari Martin had his best game of the year by a long, long way.
Yeah.
They need Sean Johnson back.
Tane Tuapiki was sensational.
Freakishly good.
CNK was not too bad.
I liked it.
6.
I was a bit worried when they named
He's a
him.
runner, though. Like, the not a lot of ball went out to the centres.
This is a game where they're going to have to outscore. They had to out-defend Penrith, which they did. They're going to have to outscore the Dolphins. Different game. I think you see Johnson back if you can.
I don't think you'll see Johnson back in this game.
No, fair enough.
But I am going to pick the Warriors.
Well, I'll go the Dolphins then. What the hey? Let's do it.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe where you can.
Please.
If you're on the YouTube, make sure you do give it the like.
Yep.
Gives the algorithm, gets us in front of more people.
If you're listening on rugbyleague.com, check us out on YouTube. We're handsome gents.
Yeah.
And if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you.
I won't be here next week, so we'll have a special guest.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be doing a solo hosting. Who knows?
I will send in my tips from beautiful Fiji, Bulla, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.